Breaking right now, a third Netflix star has savaged with Love Meghan and said that the program has been made solely to burn the royal family. Now, this is Whitney Cumming. She has had 2 hit stand-up programs on the streaming service, and she says that Netflix is allowing With Love Meghan to be used simply to troll King Charles, Prince William, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and the other relatives in the royal family. Watch her extraordinary attack.
I don't think she's trying to make a good show for you guys. No offense. This is nothing to do with making a good show. This show to me is just her subtly roasting the royal family. This isn't made for us. This is made for like 30 people in that castle. That's all she's doing. She's just doing this with her in-laws. Like, she's making this show at them. Like, it's not for us, you guys.
Angela Levin, our royal mastermind, the biographer of Prince Harry and Queen Camilla, is in the house with us. Angela, this is astonishing, isn't it? Because this attack from Whitney Cumming follows a similar takedown from Catherine Ryan. It's very clear these Netflix stars are not really liking sharing the platform with Ms. Meghan Markle.
Yeah, well, they can see right through her now. First, initially, they gave her a chance and they thought, well, she's had a hard time, but they can now see that she's a monster. And I say that because she's so cruel and she'll do anything to upset the royal family. She couldn't care less, but she does it in a very cunning way that she sort of says something, so they can't actually pick on it and attack her with that. It's a sort of a complaint that people pick up and realize when they look at it, especially a second time, that she's trying to do, I'm going to get you. And in any case, she's not going to listen now. She can do exactly what she wants. Now that she's got her wonderful Instagram, she can do whenever she wants to do it. Doing stupid things like balloons when there's not a child in the area is laughable, but she doesn't care because she wants to just float away with whatever she likes. And she doesn't care about anyone. But if she can get her teeth into any of the senior royals, she'll be absolutely delighted. And I think it's very uncomfortable because, the Charles and Camilla are older now. And so it's harder for them to sort of fight back. But they've got to look after their health. They've got lots to do. And it's actually making things more difficult for them at one level. And at the other level, they're trying to forget it altogether, which is not easy because, a father loves his son, whatever, but he can't actually talk to him because he knows he will start shouting and making a noise and saying, you still haven't apologized to Meghan. Well, I don't think anyone should apologize to Meghan. I think Meghan should apologize to everybody else. But she would be nobody. Nobody would have heard her. She wouldn't have podcasts, more than a few hundred people looking at it, eating bits from it. But she's not interested in that. She's got to the top now. She feels ready. She's gathered everything she needs. And she's going to just fire them at all of us and couldn't care less. I mean, it's scary, actually. I think she's got to a very scary age. And that's why the facial she decided to use is very, very nasty.
Indeed. And Angela Levin, it's not just Netflix stars who have been highly critical of Meghan Markle. It includes really respected commentators, including Tina Brown, who is quite significant in all of this because she was relatively tight to Princess Diana in the 1990s, and she's considered one of those doyen of royal reporters. And in a conversation on her Substack with Janice Min, who again is a highly regarded Hollywood woman, a big Hollywood executive who has run lots of the big publications over there, including The Hollywood Reporter and now The Ankler. And Angela, I mean, they're just damning. So look, let's watch what they have to say, and I'll get you to react off the back.
It was just, as you say, just so unbelievably inauthentic, really. And she's still searching for that thing that makes her authentic. But, you know, it's like it's like she wants to go back to that era, I think, that was for her a much better era. But in the meantime, all of this stuff has happened. So probably it would have been better if she had been like Megyn Kelly, coming back like it should have been her sitting there saying, will someone, for God's sake, get me an effing project? It's like, I don't have anything to do. I can't hang on to staff. Like, I don't know what am I going to, you know, I'm at my wit's end. I mean, it's like, it actually would have been refreshing to see a bit of that.
I would watch that all day long. If she said, you know what, like, this stuff is, having a career is hard. This is my escape. I just, you know, it's kind of like my meditation. I like to cook and do this kind of domestic things. You can laugh at this, but I'm trying to build a business. So this is what I'm doing. And I just be honest about it, right?
Yeah, I agree. But you could also, it's really almost as if she really, at this point, she just needs like more money, and then she doesn't have to do any job. You know, I'm sorry, but clearly she likes her Montecito life. Who wouldn't? I mean, I was very envious looking out at those mountains, and I just thought, you know, Meghan's house, whoever's house it was, it all looked pretty pleasant. It looked pretty pleasant. What wasn't pleasant was having to kind of like schlep around doing this ridiculous show, you know, and have to deal with all that kind of aggravation of everybody hating it and all that. But also, it's like, I just feel bad for her, because it's like she just gets it wrong. I mean, even when she just announced it, suddenly there was the fire, so she then has to put it off. So then she puts it off, and what happens is like, oh, World War III is.
And they won't finish there. Watch this, Angela.
You know, we have, you know, everybody's minds are on like Zelensky and Ukraine, and she's sort of still sort of standing there with her, you know, country girl basket like full of chives or whatever it is. I don't know.
But anyway. I know it feels like it was created. It was filmed in a mental institution for wealthy women. I mean, it kind of had that like lobotomized vibe. That is for sure.
It was lobotomized vibe is right. I don't know. Have you ever met a beekeeper? I just find this whole hive stuff so kind of oddly cloying, if that's the word, for making all that honey. I wanted to sort of throw up afterwards. I had so much sugar in my system.
Well, you know. Tina, do you think she's ever met a beekeeper until that guy who looks like Weird Al Yankovic showed up on the set? I mean, honestly, do you think they'd ever met until 5 minutes before?
And Angela, Tina Brown followed this up by writing, Meghan has come out with a show about fake perfection just when the zeitgeist has turned raucously against it. Do you agree with her analysis?
Yes, I do. I think she also said that she was masquerading as an influencer. And I think that's very good too, that she's sort of giving that image, but not entirely, because she doesn't want you to be to know exactly what she is. She's you know, hopping from one to another to keep you interested. And in fact, you get very annoyed and very bored. But I think she's just a sort of, I hope she's a one-off, and is so many characters or so many arguments or so many reasons not to do this and to do something else. And then to leave your husband, who one hour she's kissing him and cuddling him and holding him and absolutely, oh, I love him so much, and the next he's only allowed 3 minutes in a 6-8 part story about her eating and what she likes to cook. So he's sort of shriveled up. He's shriveled up, and that's how she likes it, just so that the royal is there. He doesn't need to say anything. He doesn't want him to say anything. He has to walk behind her. He has to tell her how wonderful she is all the time. But she's not actually doing anything properly, is she?
No.
And using her children to help her get a lot of people watching, because none of us know them or see them or have seen them run around or talk or anything else. It's just for herself. And I think that's... I said to you before, I think it's awful to use children for that. It's for yourself. Everything's for yourself. And that's why people of all sorts just feel that now she's a really dreadful woman that you should keep well away from.
Indeed. And oh my goodness, Tina Brown actually went even further. Angela, this was in her post on Substack. And again, I really agreed with her. She wrote, this was of Meghan. She said, masquerading as an influencer, she's the ultimate follower, which means inevitably she is behind the curve. It didn't take a rocket scientist to know that at age 94, the monarch, this is referring to Queen Elizabeth II, clearly only had a few years more to live. At which point, the family chess pieces would start to move around the royal power board. All Meghan had to do was shut up and wait. Go quiet for a couple of years, start a family, keep her eyes trained on the splendid royal real estate that would soon come up for grabs. But of course, Angela, she couldn't do that, could she?
No, you see, that's very interesting, isn't it? Because she can't just wait. We've seen that, whether it's some of her cooking or anything like that. She can't wait. When she wanted to leave the royal family, and the Queen was not stopping them, she said she understood it, but if they wouldn't mind waiting so they can make it calm and they can discuss all the detail and they can give a sort of joint statement. No, she doesn't want to. She has to get out when she wants to, straight away.
And the consequences have been, severe, because as Tina Brown sums up, she says 4 years later, the Sussex's life is now all about pretending, showing up at B-list charity galas that would have been tossed into a palace private secretary's reject pile, making uninvited disaster tourism appearance, or going on mock royal tours that only serve to remind us they could have done the real ones with more sizzle than anyone else in the depleted House of Windsor.
Yeah, but she didn't want that because she couldn't bear to walk behind Catherine and William.
Well, she couldn't even bear to walk behind the Queen, could she? Goodness.
No, she couldn't even do that. She wanted, she slipped into a car before the Queen moved in. I mean, you can't believe that. It's just shocking. And she pinches a few bouquets in front of the Queen. You don't push yourself in front of her. You just don't. You don't need to be a member of the royal family to know that. I mean, good manners is that you don't rush in front of an elderly woman just because you want a bunch of flowers or because you don't to wait. She can't wait. She can't wait for anything. And she wouldn't want to go back to it unless she could be totally in charge and she would tell everybody what to do. But she couldn't do it because she's no good at that. We can see that even with soup. And, she can't do anything. It all goes wrong. I don't think there's anything that she's done that she's made a success of. Nothing. It's very hard to think of one. But she's still going on and on.
And Angela, what's interesting is that there has also been a huge amount of backlash this week from within US politics. Now, perhaps not surprisingly, a lot of broadcasters on the right, but these are people who I respect, Angela. So I want to show you some of the reaction. I'll get you to respond as we go. First up, the independent conservative broadcaster Trish Regan, who used to be a star presenter on Fox News.
Yeah.
Meghan Markle is just a disaster. We're supposed to call her Meghan Sussex now, this last name made up out of thin air. Meghan Markle and Michelle Obama, they actually have a lot in common, believe it or not. Two women who believe they're kind of owed something, right? And that they don't have any respect for the institutions, whether it be the political institutions of the United States or the royal institutions of the UK. Meghan Markle has also just come out with a new show, and much like Michelle Obama, it's heading for total disaster territory. The viewership is lower than what she had on Harry and Meghan, and it's a really stupid show. It's a stupid show where she tries to pretend she's Martha Stewart, except she's not Martha Stewart. She doesn't actually make cookies for her kids. She doesn't actually make jams in her spare time. And she doesn't make things like bath salts, which just turned into an epic disaster to the point where I'm like, Netflix, what are you thinking? Actually, she's becoming a legal liability for you.
There was more from Trish Regan. Watch this.
But this is not the end of her. You see, right before I came to air, one of the guys on our production team, David, sent me a funny tweet from Lemonade Podcast. She's got another podcast out. Meghan Markle actually has another. So the Netflix thing is bombing. And the previous podcast on Spotify, you know what a train wreck that was. Like literally nobody tuned in and they were paying her a fortune for it. And now she's got another one from Lemonade. And I just say, like, what is it with people? Like, why are you so desperate to be on TV or be on podcasts or have a voice and have a voice about nothing? Like you're sitting there talking about lavender oil.
Good question, Angela. But first, we've partnered with Gundry MD to share this information with you. Would you believe me if I told you that inside your pantry right now is one of the healthiest foods on the planet? Yep, it's true, but it's not some weird, trendy superfood. Spoiler alert, it's olive oil. You're probably used to cooking with it, but there are countless ways to use olive oil to help yourself look and feel younger. For example, olive oil is a natural way to help you achieve a more youthful appearance. Besides helping you look younger on the outside, it's a fantastic tool for your insides as well. According to Dr. Stephen Gundry, a famous cardiothoracic surgeon, nutrition expert, and health advocate, you should get as much high-quality olive oil into your daily routine as possible, whether it's taking a shot of it daily or keeping a bottle of it in your bathroom medicine cabinet. But what kind of olive oil is best for your health? Well, any olive oil can give you some benefits, but if you're looking to get the best result, it matters a lot which one you pick. The olive oil industry is huge. I mean, look, you can just tell when you go into the supermarket, the grocery store, and you see all of the brands, right? But you can bet they're not all made with the consumer in mind. Many brands may even cut corners one way or another to increase profits. And when Dr. Gundry came to that realization, he was appalled. But some olive oils are so powerful, it may only take a few tablespoons a week to see these incredible health benefits. So, how can you tell between an olive oil that can be a health booster and one which isn't up to par? In an effort to answer that question, Dr. Gundry has decided to take a stand and release his personal research and findings. This video has gone viral since its release, and it's important you see it so you can start benefiting immediately. You can watch the video right now by going to getolive1.com/outspoken or by clicking on the link in the description box below. That's getolive1.com/outspoken or just click on the link in the description box below. People who have taken his advice have shared their results with him, saying the olive oil they bought after learning his simple rules has helped to change their lives. So make sure you go to getolive1.com/outspoken or just click on the link in the description box below this video.
Yes. Well, I think she's desperate to be a sort of superstar or a global superstar. And she doesn't accept the fact that people can see right through her. So she carries on her own path, not listening, closing her mind. And it's just going nowhere. But I think that you mentioned just before about how much money she wanted. I don't think she wants so much money because she'd never have enough. It's never enough of anything that she wants. You know, the clothes she wears, the jewelry she puts on. It's always never enough. And she goes on and on and on because she has to be everyone until she wins. She's got the best anything. And it's very irritating, actually. I mean, I listened to a couple of people today who were saying that they try to like her a bit, but you just can't. She's so awful. You just like her.
And there are big
and
names.
I think people are.
Yeah, and the other thing is, Angela, it's not just women. I know we've only looked at women so far, but it's also big figures on the right in America, guys who are now speaking out against this. And again, I wanted to watch with you, and then we'll react after. First up, Ben Shapiro of the Daily Wire.
Apparently, if you don't like Meghan Markle's cooking show and you think it's boring or stupid, that's because you don't like black people. And one columnist named Kayera Kelly writes for HelloBeautiful.com. It's all about, wait for it, racism. Yes, indeed, racism. How stupid do you have to be, truly, in order to believe that Americans will not watch black women on television presenting sort of soft topics? Has you ever watched like one episode of Good Morning America? It's such a left-wing viewpoint. All this racial reductivism, right? Every issue can be boiled down to, if you don't like what's happening, it's because you have a problem secretly. Your secret motivation is racism. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I don't really like secret motivations. Usually people's motivations are pretty open and obvious. If people said about Meghan Markle that they don't like interracial marriage, okay, it's about racism now. But if the idea is I don't like watching her and her annoying friends make oil-scented candles or whatever in the hills of Montecito after she married into wealth, like that's annoying to me. I don't understand what that has to do with her race.
Angela, he's completely right. He is completely
yes, of course
right.
Yes. Well, she uses somebody being racist in many, many times. I mean, she did that from the moving away from the palace. She just knows that she could do that, and nobody can argue with it, really, because she says it so formidably. And although you can say, no, I'm not, I love black people, she won't let you. And this is the thing that she's used for all the time now. But if you see who her friends are, somebody mentioned this about her, when she was on Netflix, that she didn't have one non-white person there. All her friends who she'd invited for lunch or tea, they couldn't have either, could they? Blow a balloon. She didn't have one single black person. I'm not saying she had to, but actually for someone who goes around actually telling everybody that they are racist, you would imagine they would have a mixture of people there, not sort of nice girls with long curly hair and very much white skin.
Fascinating. Angela, another huge name in the American conservative media space. I love this guy, actually, love his podcast, Patrick Bet David. And he's just looking at the figures, Angela, the raw numbers for With Love Meghan, and working out this is just a disaster. But his take is that Meghan doesn't work on her own without Prince Harry. Watch.
Of Meghan Markle. This is another example of when the audience is done with somebody and they say, we're no longer interested. If you can, you can even pull up the tweet, right, to kind of break down the numbers on this. So Meghan, okay, she decides to go out there and signs a deal with Netflix. I think it's an 8 episode. I don't know how many it is. I'll give you the numbers here. The Duchess of Sussex and former actress who married Prince Harry in 2018 before stepping back as senior royals in 2020, faces ongoing bullying allegations despite effort to reshape her image through her Netflix series With Love. Meghan crew members told People magazine that she was friendly and approachable, creating a chill that were paid probably for it, environment, and gifting them pans with personally monogrammed spoon with her handwriting that said, "Thank you, crew." However, British broadcaster Helena Chard noted that in September 2024, Hollywood Reporter called her a dictator in high heels who reduced grown men to tears, suggesting Meghan is desperate to receive accolades and public approvals and longs to be perceived as the best thing since sliced bread. That's the Hollywood Reporter. This is Hollywood Reporters on the left. The 8-episode series With Love Meghan received harsh criticism for seeming inauthentic, prompting Chart to say the public has long memory of Meghan's behavior, the hurt and upset caused to the royal family, and Meghan hasn't redeemed herself since. Look at the numbers here, folks. Numbers never lie. Meghan Markle's new Netflix show, 8-part series, was watched by 526 households in the first 5 days. By comparison, Harry and Meghan show drew in 2.1 million households in the same amount of days. 4 times more. Harry's the main attraction, not Meghan. This is what happens when the audience is no longer interested in you. And people keep trying to find a way. The PR guys say, hey, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And they don't want to do it. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, you want to talk about beta males? You are a prince of the royal family, and they basically, because of her, in fact, to be honest with you, I don't follow it. I try to stay away from this as much as possible. But from looking from the outside, look at the influence. You want to talk about wearing the pants, Adam? This chick made the dude leave being he's still a prince, but you're gone from that life to do what? to be walking around like you're a joke in this country right now. Nobody respects it. You're such a beta freaking male, and I just think this is another thing of just your time is done, and you're coming in here and you're begging for people to want to watch you and give a damn about you, and nobody gives a damn.
Angela, I mean, harsh, but I would say absolutely true. Harry has lost all respect.
Yes, of course he has, because the way he walks and the way he behaves, he's not allowed to actually show what his feelings are and how he really feels. But I think Meghan now feels that they've got they're going to part, and they're going to do their work separately. And I think this is Meghan trying it out to see if she can manage, and she doesn't need Harry at all. Though she just had him on for three minutes. But I think that he's stopped doing what he wants now. Before, he went away for a few months, and he went to do quite a lot of visits that he hadn't done for years. But I think she stops him because it's only her. And I think she feels that she can do it, but she's going to be really disappointed that she's not, because people aren't interested. The reason that the Harry and Meghan show drew so many people, 2.1 million, is because they were being incredibly rude about them, telling lies and complaining and being victims of how badly they've been treated. And I think people were shocked, and people are very interested in those sort of stories. But if she's just going to tell you how to blow a balloon and how to make spaghetti, I don't think that anybody's going to be in the least bit interested. And Harry's out the way. She wants to do these things where he's out the way, and so she can just be the queen of everything that she does. But it won't work, because people see right through her, as I said, and you said, we can see that she's not somebody who people like and want and warm to. She thinks she's so cozy and she's lovely, and she's still pretty, which is very helpful for her. But actually, as a character, she must be one of the cruelest people they've ever met.
Oh, I know. Very, very well put. Now, Angela, you would say the opposite of cruel is Queen Camilla, someone who you've got to know very well. She has secured the cover of Newsweek this week, the American publication. They've done a bit of an access all areas with her. They haven't spoken to her, though. What do you make of this? Because there was a big revelation, wasn't there, involving Giselle Pelicott within this?
Yes, I mean, I'm all for Queen Camilla, and I don't like to go into the odd things that Newsweek would like to throw around. I think that they don't really like the royals, and they would be quite make difficulty for her. But I think that she's been absolutely amazing. The king is happier. She was there when we had all the COVID, and she did a lot. She has kept up with nearly all of the charities that she'd wanted to do. And people who were ahead of that, when they spoke to me and said, they were very lefty, and two or three of them said, we thought that she would just come and then disappear. But actually, she asked, what can I do? And then she goes and does it. So she's not someone who just comes and makes it look a good thing to do, but she really likes to get involved. And this thing about attacking women, which she's been so very, very busy with, I think she's done very well. And at the same time, she's balanced with her own family, so that if they don't want to be shown, they're not, but she takes out time to be their mother and stay with them. They're both grown up and they've got children, so she's also a grandmother. And I think she manages it very well for someone who actually never wanted a career and didn't know what to do, but she's learned how to do that. But I do think that Meghan could have learnt a huge amount from her, she did ask Meghan if she could help her and show her some of the difficult things that go on in the palace. And Meghan very abruptly said, no, Harry will. No. She invited her for lunch with all the food that she liked the best. And Meghan sort of pushed it around, didn't want to eat it. Was too snobby, no thank you, or anything. And I think that when she could have been a respected working royal, but instead she thinks she knows everything and that's it. But the Queen, as we saw this time, is that she has been very careful about women who've been attacked. And one of them who's had the worst time is Giselle Pellicot, her husband Dominique, who's now in prison for 20 years. He had 200 people rape her in her own home. He's given her a drug. And whereas Meghan would go to this woman and say, oh, I'm so sorry, because she wanted to be attention for herself. Like Catherine and William, they waited at Southport with the 3 bereaved parents whose children were killed with a knife. They waited and things calmed down. And that's what the Queen has done. She asked her aides to find out if she could write to this woman and would she like a letter of support? And the answer came back was yes. So she sent a letter through about how upset she was and to help her. And when she has helped these women, she has often had to go to her room and cry her eyes out because she finds it so ghastly and unbearable. But she knew that if she could give her some encouragement, it could very much help her. Whereas Meghan rushes in, stabs all over Los Angeles, where it could have been somebody's home or it could have been somebody underneath her. She's there first. She was there when children were killed in a school. She was there first because she wants to go with a photographer and his phone. But I thought the way Camilla's done it, the Queen has done it, is very graceful and well behaved. And if Meghan had listened to her and helped her, she helped Catherine quite a lot. And Catherine was very grateful. And it was one of the reasons that William liked Camilla more than he would have done, because he didn't just think, well, my mother's no longer here, I do like Camilla. But he could see how careful she was and how she made Catherine's life easier, because he wouldn't know what was new in a palace, but she did, because she had to learn it for herself, all by herself. And I think she could have done very well, but she can't do that. So she's made a fool of herself. That's Meghan, not Camilla.
Yes, indeed. Angela Levin, brilliant analysis as ever, our Royal Mastermind. Thank you so much. Now, I do have to tell you, if you sign up to our Substack, www.outspoken.live, you get access first, of course, to our Royal After Show, including this incredible clash that we filmed yesterday between Lady Colin Campbell and Narinder Kaur. Is Meghan Markle racist?
I have heard enough now. You are weak and you are pathetic.
Not only are you offensive, you're ignorant. I object to race baiters. You're coming across to me as a terrible race baiter. Shut up. I'm gonna finish. Enough now. Just be quiet.
So
breaking right now, it's official.
You can watch that full episode right now at www.outspoken.live. That's my Substack. Sign up for direct access to me as well. Or we will be premiering it later today on YouTube. Thank you so much for your company.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.